Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. If you don't know me, my name is Sana. I do days in my life vlogs as a university student, aka a college student. I am currently studying IT and also a lot of book related content. In this week's video, I wanted to try to do a how many pages I read in a week, because if this is your first video that you click of mine, I am a slow reader. Plus, I am a gamer. If you know and you are a gamer as well as am I, you know that there's always like battle passes and games that are coming out and new characters that are being released and new stories that are coming out. And so I kind of have to try to figure out how to divide my attention between reading my books and editing the content that you're seeing on my channel and playing my games. In this video though, we will be focusing on Zodiac Academy because that is the book that I am currently reading. So I am about 150 pages in, and today is Sunday the 14th. This reading vlog is going to be from Sunday the 14th until Saturday of this week. I don't know exactly what day Saturday falls on. I do have work a couple of days this week, so that will take time from my reading. So I really just wanted to do a how many pages I read in a week, day by day basis. So today, the starting point of Zodiac Academy that we are currently at is I am on page 156 of this book. If you don't know what this book is about two twins, and it is Tori and Darcy. You will see them right here on the cover. And they are girls who have been living in the human world, where one day out of nowhere, a professor appears to them and tells them that they have to come with him. And they have always lived a life of struggle. They lost their parents when they were young. They had no money. They got kicked out of their foster home when they were 18 with nothing but the clothes on their back. So they've been struggling through life. And then this professor appears and tells them, hey, y'all actually are magical creatures. You have to come with me because I'm going to take you to this academy. And then he tells them a little bit your parents were rich. You have money in this other world, and you have to finish your education at this academy to claim your inheritance. And well, as girls who don't have anything, they're like, money, and all I have to do is go to school? Yep, sign me up. Aside from the fact that he uses a magical kind of spell called coercion on them to get them to come. But they show up at this school, and the reactions are kind of mixed, where people either love them and they're like, oh my god, they're here, or people hate them. And there are 4 heirs specifically that hate them, because out of nowhere you find out that these 2 girls are actually really, really important people in this world. They're literally I'm not even trying to step on anybody's toes. I want to go to school, graduate, and then get my money, because I just want to live a nice life after all that I've been through. But these 4 heirs are not going to let that happen, at least not easily. So that's where we're kind of at in the book, and I'm really trying not to give any spoilers if I can avoid it. Also, if I'm not wrong, they wouldn't call themselves magical species. They call themselves orders of fae. And so each magical species is in its own order of fae. And there's a lot of different orders of fae in the book. There are, from what I see right here, 3 different orders of fae. Oh, I'm about to mispronounce these names. Tania, Mutatio. It's Mutatio, and then Divisius. And so those 3 orders are the 3 main orders of fae, and then there's a whole bunch of subsections. In Tania, there's vampires and sirens. In Mutatio, there's dragons and griffins and pegasuses and werewolves. And Divisius, there's minotaurs and medusas and centaurs, things of that nature. They are kind of divided based on what type of human features, and I'll call them human features, what type of human features each order keeps. So for example, a Pegasus turns into a full animal, right? It turns into a full horse with wings. But vampires keep 100% of their human features, and the only thing that changes are their fangs. And then the Divisius are kind of half human, half beast. So a minotaur, it's kind of half human, half bull in a sense. And so that's how they are divided into those three categories. Our main characters are changelings. I have no idea what that is. Nobody has explained it yet, what a changeling is. And that's kind of like all I want to say. I will let you know I am 100% enjoying this book. The dynamic of the girls with the heirs, which, you know, they're stepping on their toes, or at least that's how they see it. They see them as a challenge, as something they need to get rid of. And so they are actively like bullying them. They are actively coming after them and not torturing them, but kind of like making their lives a lot harder in the world of Zodiac Academy so far. I would say this book is kind of like if you're watching, in a sense, like a reality TV show, but in a book. It's not well written, but it is entertaining as hell, at least to me. Imagine if I'm enjoying it and I'm only 156 pages in, like how this book is going to be doing me. Like, I will let you know, because these covers will be changing to the new covers soon because they have a new publisher. I am in the process of trying to get all of the books in this series in these original covers, which has become really, really, really expensive. And also Amazon has been delivering my books damaged, so it has become a whole ordeal, and all I know is that this series better be worth it for all the trouble that I'm going through. If I finish this book, I might dive into ACOTAR this same week. Let's see. So it is officially the end of my day. I'm not going to be reading anymore. My hair is up. It has been crazy hot today. I had to do some deliveries for my scholarship. I got really like car sick. It's been really hot outside and I can't wait to take my makeup off. My makeup is not looking the best, and if I look crazy, well, nothing else that I can do. But I can tell you that I did get a good bit into the book, at least what I would consider a good bit into the book. Slow reader status. So I definitely didn't read like 100 or 150 pages in the span of like 5 hours, which I think is what I've been reading. Granted, I was distracted for a lot of it. We had some family come over, but the total amount of pages that I was able to read today was
193 minus 156 is 37.
The grand total for the amount of pages that I was able to read today was 37 pages, which is pretty good for me. Like, some days I'm just not able to read anything at all, and if I am able to read, I can only read like 15 pages. Like, that's all I make it through because I read slow. Day 1, 37 pages down. We're currently at page 193 in the book, and there is a total of about like 429 pages in the book. It is getting good. I am enjoying it. I am learning a lot more. Specifically, like, for example, I learned a little bit of information about where each like order kind of like restores or gets their power from. For example, one of the orders is vampires, and vampires, you know, they suck blood. That's how they get their powers, you know? But they did go through like other orders, like for example, werewolves get their power or restore their power through the moon. Makes sense, right? So they are going through like more of the world building. I did just find out a little bit more about like right now what is kind of like the bad guy or what are the enemies of the Fae. I'm learning about what those enemies are, but also how they are posing a threat to the Fae, because I always thought like Fae are powerful, right? There's nothing that really stands up against them, but it turns out no, not true. There is something that can stand up against them. So learned about them. I'm glad that I picked up or am picking up the rest of the series, and we'll see how much I can get through tomorrow. Hello all. It is officially the end of day 2 for me. I am exhausted. I'm not gonna lie to you. I worked a longer shift than I normally do. They called me in since they had a couple of extra hours. I was able to get some reading in, and surprisingly, I think it was about the same as the amount that I read yesterday.
217 minus 192 is 25.
I read today 25 pages, which is not bad. I think yesterday I did like 37. I did finally break the 200s in Zodiac Academy. There are some really, really interesting things that are happening in the book. I'm trying to do no spoilers, or at least not as many spoilers as I did in my last like reading vlog. So the grand total for today is 25 pages. I wouldn't say right now I have a feeling of this book being a 5 stars, but it's definitely in the 4-star range already. And we all know that like the juicy, spicy slash like how would I say it, stress inducing parts of a book happen in the second half of the book. If you can see like my bookmark, I'm literally right in the middle of this fold. Also, for some reason my book doesn't close flushly. It has always opened up like this. I think it's just the way that the book was made. I'm enjoying it. I'm hoping that the book is going to pick up a little bit in the second half. In the first books, I know there's always like world building and introducing people to characters and kind of like getting to know what the world is about, who the characters are, what the magic system is, which is a lot of what's happened in the first half of the book. For my previous vlog, I had ordered 6 of the books before Prime Day because I'm trying to get all of the books in the original covers. I might not read all of the books like physically. I might actually pick up my Kindle and read them because they're on Kindle Unlimited. It would just be easier than lugging the big books around because they are thick. Okay, thick. But I had an issue where in that video 4 of the 6 books that I ordered from Amazon were damaged, and today I received the replacement books. Of course, I shipped out the damaged ones, and tell me why one of the books did not arrive. Literally, Amazon delivered it to my post office for my post office to give, which is not an issue. Sometimes Amazon does it and I always receive my packages, but tell me why today it says that I picked up my package in the store. And I was like, especially when it said at 10:58 a.m. I was like, girl, I was half past dead in my bed. I didn't wake up until like 1 in the afternoon today. So how, pray tell, did I go into the post office to pick up my book? So now I have to wait until tomorrow, and then I have to try to contact Amazon support and be like, what's going on? Like, where's my book? And hopefully have them help me, because it kind of sucks that I'm not getting my book now. Hopefully I can finish this book in this week so that I can pick up another one. I am trying to finish 2 books in the month of July, and we're halfway through this one, but we're also literally halfway through July. It is the 15th today. So if I do finish this one, I might not be able to start ACOTAR because I don't know if I'll be able to finish that before the end of the month. I might have to pick a shorter book. So today is Tuesday and we are officially starting at page 218. We are almost in the middle of chapter 12, and I am going to see how many pages I can read throughout the day. The plan today is, though, that I have a lot of editing that I want to do. I want to get my mid-year book tag up, hopefully before the end of today, and if not tomorrow, so that should be up by the time that you see this video. So it is officially the end of the day for me, and I am now on page 251, and we started on 218.
251 minus 218 is 33.
So today I was able to read 33 pages. I'm currently just at the beginning of chapter 14. This book does have longer chapters than I normally like. I don't know if you can see them. Yeah, you definitely can. It looks like maybe each chapter has been about 10 to 15, maybe 20 pages long. There are things that are developing for our 2 FMCs, and there was even like a fight where one of the heirs has laid claim to one of the twins, and he fought a teacher because he overstepped his boundaries and ended up taking power from his power supply. So I was like, whoa. I also did like think that little moment ended way too quick. It was literally like 1 paragraph and then it was like, fine, we're good. And I was like, what? Like, you just did this whole thing in front of all these people and that's all we get? I wouldn't say that I know the direction that the book is going in because it's not predictable, at least to me at this current time. There haven't really been any like spicy moments that have happened so far whatsoever. We're definitely in the enemies to potential lovers. I don't think we're going to become lovers in this book. I could be wrong, but we are also in the hate to potential love. region, because all of the girls hate the air, but it's kind of like they hate to love them, you know? Like, they're so hot, they're so cool, but at the same time, don't come near me because you're trying to kill me type stuff. So I'm really like sitting here thinking, who is like each of the twins going to end up with? Because when you read a book and you know that there's enemies to lovers and you know that there's spice and that there's romance, your mind immediately, at least my mind, immediately starts thinking about who their potential mate is. Like, who is it going to be that you end up with, that you go through these 10 books with? Or is it going to be a thing where we go from enemies to lovers and hate to love back to enemies again, and then you go from enemies to lovers with somebody else? Like, there's just so many questions going on in my mind right now. The book is sitting at a solid 4 stars, but we are just barely past half of the book, so I know that there's going to be more things that could either make the rating go up or go down. We were able to get 33 pages done today, and we'll see how many we can get tomorrow. Good afternoon, or technically good night because it's already midnight. Today was not a great reading day. I only got through 9 pages in the book. I mean, they were some good 9 pages, okay? Like, kind of like, who do you belong to? And it's also like the kind of content where the bad boy is starting to like soften up to one of our FMCs, and you're like, so I can see something happening there. And yeah, they're gonna be like, girl, you only read like 9 pages. How did all of that transpire? Well, these were some fast-paced 9 pages. I don't know what to tell you. Hopefully I'm able to like read a little bit more tomorrow. I was heavily distracted. We went to my mother-in-law's house to go and eat some food. Then it was like going buy groceries. We'll definitely finish this book before the end of the month. Now the question is, will I be able to start and finish another one before the end of the month? I kind of want to push myself to do that, but at the same time I feel like if I push myself to do that, I'll lose out on the enjoyment of doing that. Also, there was a lot of editing today. My mid-year book tag, I finished editing today, thankfully, so that will be up already. If you haven't watched it, you can go ahead and find it on my page so that you can see like the books that I read in the first half of the year and what I am anticipating on reading for the second half of the year. So we'll go ahead and just kind of exit it here. Tomorrow will hopefully be better. So it is currently the end of day 5 in my how many pages I can read in a week as a slow reader video. And I am still currently in Zodiac Academy, and it's going to be a little bit of a shameful update. I was not able to do much reading yesterday. There was a lot of editing that I did, creating thumbnails for 2 videos that should be up now by the time that you see this. But I was only able to read 5 pages into the book. I am trying to work on creating a reading journal. Let me know in the comments down below if you would like to see what my reading journal is looking like at the present time. I know you're going to be like, girl, it's like halfway through the year. You're right. But remember, I wasn't really into reading at the beginning of the year, and I just recently got back into it. So I was like, I like doing like stationery / drawing type things. So I was like, why not create a reading journal? So that's what I started doing last night as well, which is also what took time away from reading. I hope to be able to get some more reading in. I really want to try to read like 20 to 30 pages because I finished on page 265. The book has like 420 pages if I'm not wrong. And so I'm really hoping that I can finish this. It's not going to be done before the end of the week unless I pull like some really crazy numbers. But I hope that I can finish this hopefully mid next week, and then I can pick up another book that I can try, keyword try, to finish before the end of the month. So hello everyone. We are at, I would say, probably the beginning of day 6, and I just say like probably the beginning because I just got off of work. It's currently 5:53 p.m. and your girl is exhausted. I'm not gonna lie to you. I literally like went to sleep early and that was like around 1 a.m. and that's early for me. Like the past couple of days I've been going to sleep at 5 a.m. but I had the morning shift today, so I tried to go to sleep early and I woke up at 4 and couldn't go back to sleep. So I'm on like 3 hours of sleep. I am exhausted, but I've just like ruined my sleeping schedule. So I'm gonna try my hardest to stay up for the rest of the day to try to reset it. I don't know if that's a thing. I don't know if it'll work, but there's really nothing else I can do. We are going to continue reading Zodiac Academy. I don't know how far I will get into it. I don't even know if I'll be able to like fully focus because I'm so like tired. We are currently on page 265 of Zodiac Academy, and I'm going to try to read as much as I can today. I think so far in the past couple of 5 days, since this is day 6, I've read about 100 pages. And I mean, honestly, that's pretty good for me. So I'm 271 pages into the book, right, while I'm reading. And I guess it never really occurred to me how much time had actually passed. Like, imagine 270 pages have passed in this book. And it's only been one school week, Monday through Friday, in the book. I don't know why I felt like it had been months already that had passed, but it's only been one school week where they have found out so much about their lives, about who their parents used to be, about who they're expected to be, and a little bit about who's coming after them. Like, I'm still kind of like really shook and trying to figure out who is their real threat. And I'm also suspicious about like everybody that's around them. In my very heavy experience, when it comes to books of this nature and there's like a bad guy, it's usually somebody that is closest to you that is your biggest danger. I'm still enjoying the book. It made me laugh. I've had some giggles. I've had some moments where you're like, dang, I hate this character, but I love them. It's like you love to hate them, if that makes sense. I don't know. This book, it's definitely a strong 4-star for me. It might be a 4.25 or a 4.5. I just need to see towards the end if it will make it closer to 5 stars or if it will be a 5-star. It is currently 10:39, and because of the lack of sleep, I am starting to get a migraine, but I was successful in doing some reading when it comes to Zodiac Academy. I finally broke the 300s, and I actually feel like I read a lot. Like, I think right now I just got to page 311 and we started at 265. So, I mean, I think I really did like well, and honestly, that made me reconsider, like, am I a slow reader? So we managed to read 46 pages, and I literally just stopped at the beginning of chapter 17. The book is starting to get good. It didn't get spicy yet, which I heard this book had spice in it. There's been like banter, there's been tension, there's been moments when you're like, oh, something's gonna happen, it's gonna happen, but then something else happens and interrupts that. So we haven't had a spicy moment yet. I can't wait to pick it up tomorrow, and then tomorrow get the final tally of exactly how many pages we read over the course of 7 days as a slow reader. I'm sorry. I hope that this is not a spoiler, but for those of you that have read like the Zodiac Academy, I have to read this line. It's like having to do with one of the heirs, and when he's like trying to make a move on one of the twins, and he's like being serious, like after a night out, after a night of them like grinding and dancing and kind of like getting to know each other in a different way, he's trying to like make a relationship, and she tells him, I don't trust you, I admit it, or anyone, but especially not an heir. This is an internal thought, okay? His eyes brighten as if I'd just given him the tiniest sliver of hope he needed. Can I try to make you trust me? I don't know. I don't want to trust anybody yet. It's book 1. There wouldn't be like 10 books. 10 books plus actually of this series if it was this easy to trust people, but I'm kind of here for it. Alright, everybody, we have made it to the end of this video. If you stuck around this long, you're the real one. I really appreciate you. But let's get the final countdown when it comes to how many pages I read today and how many pages I read total throughout the week. It is currently 11:30 and I am exhausted after work and after just a lot of sleepless nights this past week.
347 minus 311 is 36.
According to series calculations, we have read 36 pages tonight. I don't really know how long it took me to read that. There was definitely a lunch/food break in between that reading time from when I started compared to when I ended, but the book is getting good. There are some lines that I really need to talk about, and I'm really trying to keep this as spoiler free as I can. Let me know in the comments down below if I'm being successful at that. And I wanted to talk about this line because I don't think it's a spoiler. I'm hoping it's not a spoiler. If you think it's a spoiler, I'm sorry. Skip ahead by a couple of seconds. It might be 30 seconds. I didn't want his throne or his kingdom, but I did want something else from him. I wanted his respect. Girlie's getting respect from some of the MMCs, especially when it's not you pining for it. Is pining the right word? It's not like you're trying to sit there and beg for him to respect you. It's the fact that you want to earn their respect. You want them to know that you are a badass FMC and that you earned your way to that title. And I love that that's what she's going after. She literally is like, I don't want his throne, I don't want his kingdom, I don't want any of his monetary things that he might, be wanting to keep hold of. I want him to respect me, and that I love. So today, which is Saturday at 11:30 p.m., we have finished a total of 36 pages, and it looks like for the week, when it comes to reading Zodiac Academy, we have reached a total of 191 pages, if my calculations are correct, which I think it's pretty good. Granted, I definitely could have read a lot more and maybe even finished this book, except for there was 2 days in this week where I only read 5 pages, and I only read 9 pages because I was really busy and or had some type of thing going on. So I could have finished this book this week because I only have a small chunk left. I know I say a small chunk. That's how much of the book I have left. It's literally about maybe 70 to 80 pages or so. Hopefully I can finish in the upcoming 4 days. So let me know in the comments down below if this is the type of content that you like to see. I am enjoying my journey through Solaria, which is the world in Zodiac Academy, and I am enjoying the pace that it's going at. I haven't felt any moment where I'm overly bored, which sometimes happens with some of the books, especially when they're doing world building, which this book is, heavily consisted of, because we're having to learn about the magic system, we're having to learn about the world, we're having to learn about all of the orders of Fae that are in this world and in this setting. I'm still definitely sitting at a 4 stars. This would still be a book that I would recommend. Now, will it be a 5-star read? We'll find out in the next 80 pages, because I just need to know if we're gonna ramp up when it comes to who the bad guy is or who are threatening our FMCs. So I'm excited to continue reading this. So I wanted to do a quick little update before I fully ended the video, especially since I am in the process of editing it. I did just finish Zodiac Academy. I will do my final thoughts in this video, even though I was not able to finish it in the 1 week, where I did how many pages I read in a week. Today is officially Tuesday. And so since it's Tuesday, it was a little bit longer than the original week that I was trying to finish this in. Mind you, I was already 150 pages into the book. So from 150, and there's 430 pages in the book, I was able to read quite a good amount. I was able to read over 250 or maybe closer to 275 pages in the course of this week and 3 days. So over the course of 10 days. I enjoyed the book. I am going to say I am probably going to give this book a rating of 4.25 stars. It was a good book. As I had stated earlier, it is not a literary masterpiece. The writing in here is not impeccable. There are things that you're like, I would have worded that differently, but it is entertaining as hell. And it still shook me, really shook me, that everything that is happening in this book happens over the course of 1 week. 7 days. I was 400 pages and all of the stuff that transpired, and it only happened over the course of 1 week. That had me shook. And it really still just goes in and tells you there's all these warning signs and everything telling you don't trust this person, and then you start to trust this person, and then when they eventually betray you, you're like, dang, I really wanted to believe you were different. I really wanted to believe that you were not going to be the person that you originally portrayed yourself to be. I really hope that's not a spoiler. I enjoyed the ending of it. It definitely has a cliffhanger. I cannot lie to you. It makes me want to pick up the second book right now, and I do have it. I think I really want to try to get into another book to see if I can finish it before the end of this month, just to help with my book goals. The amount of books I read. Yeah. And the book that I want to try to get into is specifically ACOTAR, but if the book is about 400 pages, I don't think I'll be able to finish it before the end of the month. It is currently the 23rd, and the month ends on the 31st. So that would give me about 8 days to finish a book, and this book took me 23 days to finish. I don't know what book I'm going to be reading yet at this very moment. I would say go ahead and make sure that you are subscribed and that you have hit the notification bell to stay tuned and find out which book is the one that I am going to be picking up next and hopefully finishing before the end of July. Make sure to go ahead and comment down below, have you read this book? Is this a series that you're wanting to get into? I will let you know this entire series of books is on Kindle Unlimited, so if you wanted to give this book a try, you can go ahead and pick it up on there. I do at this point have a bookshelf vlog up. There's also my mid-year book tag that you can go ahead and watch, and there is also a haul video of me going over some of the other books where there are definitely other books in this series that I picked up. Now the question is, did Amazon send me the books in a good condition, or are they damaged, as many of my books from Amazon have been? I guess you'll have to tune in to find out. Again, thank you so much for watching this video, and we'll see you in the next one.